Hey, Beak.
What's up, Doug?
You ever talk to people about our trip to Punxsutawney?
All the time. I love that story, and I always start it off the same way. I ask them the question, have you seen the movie Groundhog Day? Of course, the answer is always yes. Of course, say it's absolutely nothing like that.
Nothing.
Why did you guys decide to go to Punxsutawney?
Well, we decided to go because we just love the movie. Sean and I have been friends since 97, well, about the time all of us met at our church, and we all have the same taste in entertainment. We all love the same bands. We all love the same movies in most cases. And Bill Murray is, in my opinion, the funniest man ever to walk the face of the earth. And I'm not going to speak for these two, but I'm going to guess he's at least in the top 5. Okay? So we all love Bill Murray. We all love the movie Groundhog's Day. We would quote it constantly. We still do from time to time. And it just happened that Groundhog's Day in 2002 was on a Saturday. And so we got a small group together. We road tripped out there and had a time.
Yep, 02, 02, 02.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you get this picture in your mind of what it should be, right? The movie kind of frames that out there for you. You have this expectation going into what it really should be. And our experience starts, Punxsutawney is really small, so you have to stay way outside of town in a crappy motel room. But it's okay because we know what's coming, right? We're so excited for it. It doesn't matter. You get up at 2 a.m, again, completely okay for the experience. Then you get onto this bus, this school bus, no heat running, it's below zero, February in Pennsylvania, and you ride about 45 minutes into Punxsutawney. But again, it's all okay because you're going to get to this awesome place, this town square, hustle, bustle, all this celebration going on for Groundhog Day, and it's going to be just like the movie. But
no. So we show up to Gobbler's Knob, and in the movie, Gobbler's Knob is a nice town square, has a beautiful gazebo in the middle of it, businesses around the area, everything like that. No. We went to a forest in the middle of nowhere, and they said, get off the bus. And it's like, where are we? And so Gobbler's Knob is not a town square. There's no gazebo. It is in the middle of the woods on a hill that, if you think of like some outdoor concert venues, if you're an Indianapolis native, Deer Creek or whatever it's called this week, it's that without the stairs or the seats and stairs. It's just a hill going down. Okay. So keep in mind, this is a Saturday. It's a weekend. It's a popular movie that's only 9 years old at this point. And it's 02, 02, 02, which is pretty significant.
Perfect.
There were over 30,000 people there. And so you're sharing the space with 30,000 people, half who are probably way over the limit drunk. Saw plenty of them.
That early?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so here's the setup. You got the hill going down, and there's a stage up front. They got a DJ rocking out early 90s dance music. We heard Pump Up the Jam by Technotronics 10 times. Which, I like the song, but this is 2002, not 1989, 1990. And it was just like, that's all they played.
But they did add a little bit to it.
Yeah. Yes, they did. What did they add to it?
Woo, Groundhog's rule! Occasionally there'd just be this guy jump out with a mic and yell Groundhog's rule, and that was pretty much it.
Yep. So keep in mind, we're talking, this is probably 2:30, 3 in the morning. They're not pulling the rat out until 6:30
At night?
in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 3:30 in the morning at the early. At the latest. It feels like we were there for like 8 hours.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So anyway, we're dealing with that. 30,000 people coming up the hill. And then at the top of the hill, there was a bonfire that at best 15 by 15 feet.
That's exaggerating, but
Probably, maybe smaller. They had 2 6-foot tables pulled out. One was selling hot chocolate, one was selling coffee, and they had 14 porta potties. That's it.
I'm impressed you remember exactly the number of
I remember
potties.
counting. We didn't have anything else to do.
That's true. Yeah, so
I
what we
remember
just huddled together and just tried to stay warm. And
I mean, we've got some pictures we'll put up here, but yeah, that's all it was. We sat there listening to early 90s dance and techno, freezing, and trying to fight 20,000 other people to stand by the fire. Luckily, we got into the fire somehow early. Yeah, so that was the Groundhog's celebration. Finally, at 6:30, they played the music from the movie, and they pull it out. But of course, there's 30,000 people there screaming and yelling. So I didn't
even hear what happened. We were walking into town, which comes later. We were asking each other, did he see a shadow? Or
nobody knows.
I had no idea.
We just saw people starting to walk away, and it's like, oh, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
getting the
that's when
impression that
next step
nothing
is.
about this trip ruled.
Nothing.
No, there's plenty that
we
ruled later.
Yeah. So anyway, this is done. So it's like, okay, now what? Well, now you have to walk back into town. 1.5 miles.
You have to walk? No bus?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Now, keep in mind, we didn't stay in Punxsutawney. We're in a different town in a different area.
Yeah.
So we're walking back to Punxsutawney. Now, Sean mentioned it. Punxsutawney is not a big town. So we're walking into town 1.5 miles, freezing, with 30,000 other people, hungry. And it's like, all right, what do you want for breakfast? You can eat at the hotel. There's a buffet. And there was a Burger King. That's it. 30,000 people coming into 2 restaurants.
And I remember, too, looking for those famous ice sculptures and all that, right? You remember the scene in the movie where Bill Murray ultimately learns how to ice sculpt and everything. We saw one ice sculpture on the way back, and it wasn't very good.
No, wasn't great. So after about 2.5 hours, we get our breakfast, and we're walking around Punxsutawney a little bit. There is an ice sculpture. There was a one-man band, wasn't Heath Slater. There was a mime.
Yeah, I remember the mime.
Who wasn't painted.
Yeah.
It was just some guy walking around in a top hat with a picture frame, and he'd walk up to you and...
I forgot about this.
And then
He didn't even bother to put the getup on?
No, it was just an empty picture frame, and then he would hold it next to you so you're both in the frame. And then, yeah.
Worst mime I've ever seen.
It's just a dude with a picture
Frame. Yeah.
A homeless guy?
Yeah.
What's that?
A homeless guy? Maybe?
Oh, he probably lives there.
Who knows?
He does.
There were a few shops selling little things like coffee cups or strange hats. That's it.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No. I mean, we stayed the day. Well, somehow we made it into the. Did we go back?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we jumped back on the bus at noon.
That's right.
And they take us back to our hotel, and they're like, "You're going to be tired, so go home, take a nap, and then come back in the evening and enjoy the evening festivities." So we sleep, we shower, we get in our car, we get back, and
there's one bar. And again, 30,000 people were in town, so you can imagine how packed the bar is. And they had one beer, I think.
Yeah,
just one.
And it was Groundhog beer.
Oh.
But we're pretty sure they just put labels over the Miller
I
Lite.
think it was Schultz or Schlitz.
That's right.
It might have been Schlitz, yeah.
Yeah, probably given the area. But yeah, good stuff.
So yeah, we show up. Nothing else is going on. There's no Groundhog Day festivities. Everything that was out in the little park area where the mime and one man band was gone.
He was
Nothing happening.
So how do we entertain ourselves that night?
Well, we got lucky. We did find a really good place to eat.
Yeah.
And I think it was really good because we were just so miserable.
Yeah.
Anything would have been good, but it was amazing.
But I mean, up until that point, we were at the bar basically taking pictures of each other, posing behind people with really huge mullets. That was part of it.
And the same DJ was DJing the bar.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we walked in, pop up the jam. That's the only song I remember him playing. I swear he played it constantly.
I mean, now when I hear the song, I think of Groundhog Day. So
100%.
guess there's a silver lining to that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we hung out at the bar for a few hours, taking pictures of people with really big mullets, and that was Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. Well, you forgot about the part where we asked about a place to eat.
Ooh, that's a good
And
story.
we get these weird directions to this place out in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't go in, but basically we pull up and there's this huge barn-looking place out in the middle of nowhere. And a couple of people got out. It was you and Matt that got out, right?
Mhm.
And what'd you see inside when you went
We
inside?
walked up, and it felt like a movie. I'm not saying everything went silent, but we walked in. We're wearing khakis, I think. I think we dressed up a little bit, thinking, oh, we're going somewhere nice to eat. And it was amateur boxing night at this pole barn. And we walked in, and it was like 50 people turned and was like, what is that? Two dudes walking in, button up shirts and coats and khakis. And yeah, it was like, yeah, we're not eating here. So yeah, anyway, we did find a good place to eat.
Yeah.
Went back to the bar. But yeah, the next day, nothing happening again. We basically went home.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked to a few people from the area, and they don't dislike the movie, but they're kind of like, this was our thing. We liked it being our thing. Now everyone shows up every year. And it was just kind of weird hearing people talk about it because it's such a cool tradition. And they made an amazing movie, one of the best holiday movies ever. And they just are like, we don't need it. We don't want all these people here. We just want to do our thing. It was so strange.
Yeah.
Do you think the town of Punxsutawney disappoints tourists on purpose so that eventually they'll stop coming?
That's what we were wondering.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad a little bit talking about it the way that we do for that reason, because we did talk to some of the people and we understood maybe it wasn't what they wanted. And they're just being really stubborn about sticking with their traditions. And maybe you can't blame them for that. You know, we're the ones invading the space a little bit. Although, you know, you would hope that I don't know, they could do it in a way that would be, you know, good for them and good for everybody else. But if they don't want to, they don't want to. And I guess that's okay. But makes for a good story.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was miserable.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have changed one thing about it because the stories we have told over the past 21 years now are epic. I mean, that some of my best conversations are us talking about this because to live it and it's insane. And they haven't changed anything because I actually did met up with another friend of ours, WJ, probably about 5 years ago. It was right before the pandemic, and we went there again. And I knew what not to do, so we didn't go out to Gobbler's Knob or anything like that. We actually just met there for a different purpose, but we tried to do some of the things. There just wasn't anything going on. I think we walked through a library where they had like the old buttons, and pictures, and stuff like that. I didn't see the mime. There were a couple of people selling popcorn, and you know, it's just like I don't know if it's just a different world, but every year on February 2nd, I would have something to sell, and a lot of it. Probably coffee, because no one sells coffee in this town. So I would just, have 10 coffee makers going constantly. It's like $1 a cup. Go, 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 go. I mean, geez, you put in 10 hours and you probably make $5,000.
Yeah, so if
I
you
can
decide to make
see-
the trek to Punxsutawney, make sure and pack breakfast, pack lunch, pack coffee. If you want beer, just bring it all with you because
And a
not
lot
gonna
of
get there.
layers.
Yeah.
Or you do the alternative and you go to Woodstock, Illinois.
Yes.
Woodstock is where the movie was actually filmed. And Drew
I have been there.
has been there with us too. How did you like Woodstock?
I had a blast at Woodstock. It's this nice little town. They have a square, which is where the movie was filmed. The gazebo is there. The courthouse is there. The restaurant is there. The bowling alley, the movie theater. And they have this all labeled. So as you're walking through the town, they have one called Ned's Corner. And that's where Ed and Phil always met up. The pothole that Bill Murray steps in, it's there and it's labeled. The restaurant that he goes into, we went into the courthouse and we found our way to a place we weren't supposed to go. We went through some doors, went down in the basement, and found the bar that they had all the bar scenes.
The bar when he's hitting on Rita.
Yes.
Because
Speaker
they're,
moves,
the sweet vermouth scene.
Yeah.
Because the bowling alley also has a bar.
Yeah. So we went bowling one morning, and it was early in the morning.
It was 9 in the morning. We're bowling at this bowling alley, and we're all drinking beer.
And then on Groundhog's Day, we went to the inn. We didn't stay in the inn, but we went to the inn. And, there was snow. It was deep snow everywhere. But you could walk to the square from where we stayed. And we got there super early. There wasn't 30,000 people.
No, there's probably
A couple thousand maybe.
at most. Maybe
And they get up there to do the Groundhog spiel, and they do the whole spiel from the movie. I mean, they basically reenact the scene of when they pull Phil out. And
And I should point out, every year they bring somebody who is involved with the movie. Now, most of the time, it's like the second director or, this guy did editing on the script or something like that. But Bill Murray showed up a couple times. A few other characters who showed up.
trying to remember who was there when we went the first time to Woodstock. It was actually somebody slightly recognizable from a voice perspective, and I can't remember.
Was it?
Is it one of the officiators of the whole Groundhog?
Yeah. But yeah, there was an actual actor
Yeah.
that showed up one year. So yeah, they go all out. What's kind of cool is the movie theater that he takes the girl to. You get to. They show Groundhog's Day for free in
all
there.
day on a loop.
And then you go in there, and then whoever the special guest was will come out and tell you little things. Oh, this is what I experienced. This is what I found funny. Oh, Bill Murray's so funny, and just all this stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's
It's weird watching the movie and then having the theater that you're in the movie. If that makes any sense. You're sitting there, you're watching it, and he pulls up to, and he's at the ticket box. It's like, that's just, I'm in that theater.
In the Western gear.
Yeah, and it's just weird, like, that's where I'm sitting right now. But it's as soon as they pull the Groundhog out, you're free to do what you want. So we went over to the restaurant and had this big breakfast, and then we went bowling and did the movie, and you just kind of hang around downtown. And it was a lot
and
of
they
fun.
got things to do. They have a dance there that night
Mhm.
that we could have gone to. I don't think we went to the dance, but you could pay for the dinner and dance that they had in the movie. Yeah, all the scenes shot. You just go around. And they give you a map, and it's like, oh, there's the bed and
alley.
breakfast. Yeah, the alley where he found the homeless man. Just all this stuff. Woodstock loves this. They're the complete opposite of Punxsutawney because they want people to come in. They just go all out. And 2025, it's on a Saturday again, and we've already talked
We got to
about
go.
it. I think we talked about it 6 months ago. And we're seriously probably going to have another trip out there next year because it is that fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you want all the photo ops, all the spots where the movie was shot and everything else, I mean, it's just perfect for all that. Like you said, you could step in the pothole and you can sit at the table. Now, the restaurant's different. It was a Mexican restaurant, I think, when we were there the first time. I don't know what it is now, but you still find that area in the restaurant where you had that big spread of a breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go sit in that seat, you know, the same angle, whatever, and take pictures. It's just fun to go and reenact, and we say the lines anyway, so you might as well be in a place where the lines were said and say the lines. You know, it's just
if you want to experience Groundhog's Day, you can go to Woodstock.
100%. If you want to experience pain and suffering, but then have an amazing story to tell for 20, 30, the rest of your life, go to Punxsutawney because it is a historical place. This movie has been put in like the, I can't remember what it's called, but the important movies that ever happened at Library of Congress. You know, the movie's in there, so it's a part of history. So going to Punxsutawney gives you that history. Yep. And you might as well go during Groundhog's Day because they at least have 2 or 3 things to do.
I can see both sides of the coin for a small town because 30,000 people rushing into your small town is a logistical nightmare. On the other hand, it is also a financial and economical opportunity for that town. It's like their Christmas.
But if you're a small town, to accommodate as many people as that.
Well, they definitely don't have the hotels and everything, but they got it set up where buses will go out and pick you up in different towns and bring you in. And, you know, it was like they had it set up well on how to get you there. But when you're there, it's like, well, there's nothing to do. So
just open a restaurant for 1 weekend a year in that town and you'll have it.
We talked about it on the way back. And again, outside of Punxsutawney, there's not much going on. I think we passed 2 houses. And it's like, if I lived in one of those houses, there would be a table at the end of my driveway and just constantly making coffee, maybe toast or something. I don't know, whatever's easiest. But
maybe they don't want people back.
I mean, when you're walking back freezing after standing in the same spot trying to stay warm for 5 hours or however long we were there, you're not walking fast. So 1.5 miles is like 30, 40 minutes almost, it felt like. And all we wanted was just something to warm up. Why wasn't there anybody out there just selling coffee?
It sounds like there's an opportunity there for someone who is business-minded.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get a house in Punxsutawney.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why we were psyched about doing this. That's why we brought on the Beak to be in the podcast, because he and I have been to Punxsutawney and to Woodstock. Drew's been to Woodstock. We need to get you out there, Nathan. It is interesting, and this is a warning to people because we didn't have this podcast when we decided to go to Punxsutawney. So we're giving you that warning now.
Still do it, though.
Yeah, you should still do it.
Just be prepared.
Yeah, they have Under Armour now, so it's easier to stay warm. They didn't have that back in 2002. It is a town, little shops here, a little coffee shop here, a couple different restaurants. Actually, there's a killer barbecue spot there. To this day, I lived in South Carolina for a while. To this day, it's the best barbecue I've ever had.
And no, we don't work for the Woodstock Chamber of Commerce. No. Just the remote.
So, you're interested, we recommend going to Punxsutawney. It's a good experience once for the stores.
Is it?
But everyone should go to Woodstock multiple times. Come next year. You'll get to meet all us.
All right. If you want to see our breakdown and psychoanalysis of the film, check out this video next. And as always, there will be some links in the video description to cool movie merch from this movie. So hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye, guys.